Most people think of themselves as individuals, but there's no one on the planet like them. This thought motivates them to get out of bed, eat food, and walk around like nothing's wrong. My name is Oliver Tate.
While this is playing, do you want to talk us through how this links in?
Not really. Can we talk about after? Can we talk about
Last night I looked up into the dark half of the blue, and they gone backward.
So this is our pitch. So the whole idea is we would like to remake the beginning opening 2 minutes of Submarine, but we would, instead of using the boy, we do it from the girl's perspective, who's later on shown in the film. But we'd like to do it sort of opening with her instead. And because Submarine is set in a seaside town, we want to do it set in the countryside. So with all the sort of like establishing shots of all the sea and water, we'd like to go for the sort of like countryside aspects, so like fields. And rivers.
Are these just Google shots or are these?
These are actual. These are Google shots, but they are from around the area. So that's on the moors, and the other one was from Bolton Abbey, and that's on the moors as well. So they're all local places that we can.
So is the idea that you would abstract several of these together to give the impression it's all the same place?
Yeah. And then this is sort of who we'd like to use as our main character, because she looks a lot like the character in the film, because she looks quite very quirky and has the same hairstyle. Ooh. And then with the window that was in the opening shot, this is my friend Rose's house, and she says that we can use her home to film in, and she has sort of like the same windows that's in the actual film. So we have access to somewhere to film, which we can easily get to. And the genre
is like it's almost like a social realist rom-com, because later on it's in the film it's described as a rom-com, but I suppose for the opening it'd be very social realism.
And then that would be shown through the speech, the audio over the top, and we would get our friend Lucy to do a Welsh accent, because we wanted it to be sort of like a very strong accent to show sort of the social realist side. And also what they're saying, we'll come up with that later, but it would seem very beyond their years what they're saying.
So like the boy in the film, when it's tracking around his room and he's got quite like all the sci-fi and the telescope, and you were expecting it to be quite an old kind of teenage man. It's not as projected. He's like 50.
Yeah.
So what kind of props do you intend to have in this room then?
Well, with the girl, I think we were going to go sort of more arty. So a lot of sort of like very mature art that we would easels, and then we'd get sort of like printed photos that we could like stick around the wall, because there's a shot in the film where there's just a wall just covered in pictures, just like strange sort of art that's on the wall. We can easily do that, and it's just the new
Where do you think you'd source these?
from the internet, and Rose actually has a lot of the art that we use.
My art class, when we went to the London Tate Gallery, and all the galleries that we went to, we all took loads of photos of the different pieces of art.
You'd want art books scattered, wouldn't you, as well?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
can get them from like the library or the art classroom. Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, you know, if the art is one element, there were quite a variety. Not everything was very directly linked together in the mise en scene in Submarine. So what else would you think of beyond art to signify the curiously older style but younger person?
well, everything was just very, very tidy. Like you expect sort of like a teenage room to be everything scattered all over the floor. Like the bed was made, so the bed would be very neatly made. Everything its right place, so the shoes would be like lined up.
And the
And obviously-
furniture,
So perhaps labels on things.
like the furniture looked quite older, like he had quite a nice vintage chair.
Is that already in place, or is that something you would have to move in?
But as I said, Rose literally has the perfect house to film this in because the style is very much the same as like she said.
It'd be nice for us to see an image to know what you mean.
Well, this is the window. You can't really see the chair. If I go around, I don't actually have any photos of her furniture, but I can vouch that. And
Well, what sort of furniture are you talking about? Describe it.
it's like leather, but sort of like very worn leather, like very like retro, quite vintage.
Are we talking armchairs, settee?
Yeah, armchairs, lots of like plants and
Right, think as well, you know, the wider furniture, dark wooden furniture, for example, was part of the mise en scene, which is not what you expect again in a teen bedroom.
yeah.
Is there anything like that in place, or do you have in mind anywhere to source something like that to bring it in?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of wooden furniture in
My
house.
gran has loads of wooden furniture, like
Right. So that's what you've got to think of, you know, even literally antiques. There's a candelabra or candle holder or something like that in the submarine as well. You know, any of these kind of almost bric-a-brac items
Yeah.
would be quite significant as well, not just art, but thinking in the wider sense as well.
And she also lives right in the middle of the countryside, but it's easy enough for us to get to by car. It's like 5 minutes from Oakley to get to in the car. So we
Right.
get a lot of shots of outside, nice shots of outside as well.
Ben, if you want to come in to